Hello, everyone out there in Twitch. Look, hold on. Divs isn't in full frame. There we go.
You got a bad
Perfect.
rotation here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone out there in Twitch TV land, and welcome to yet another Waystone Games live stream. I am Brad Pluto Ramey, the Assistant Community Manager here at Waystone Games, joined, as always, by his Starbucks-sponsored mug, Dan Dibs Gibson.
I swear to God, I've commissioned a new mug.
You have.
But it's taken time. It's
for that perfect mug, for
that
the perfect
mug.
Dongate mug. It's
Right.
gotta take time. But yeah, we're here. It's Monday. It's 11 a.m. PDT. So you kind of know what that means. I feel like people have some idea.
I got an idea. It's time for new supports.
Time for new supports. Unschutze. That's what's gonna happen here. But welcome. We do these, every few weeks whenever it's about that time, chap?
Right,
And the first thing we want to talk about today, actually, really quickly, is to bring more awareness to the Extra Life. If you guys don't know, we are doing an Extra Life gaming charity marathon on October 25th, a 24-hour live stream here from the office. It's not going to be at my desk. It's going to be kind of in the little living room. And so we did it last year.
Yeah, we did it before.
And it was a blast.
Are we doing it bigger this year? I feel like there's more people on the team. Are we going to get more showing?
We're going to try.
Right.
We're going to try. If you don't know, extralife.org is where you can find out more about it. Good old George is posting the link in chat so you guys can read the kind of story, the news article or whatever that I wrote for it. And October 25th, that's a Saturday, 9 a.m. till October 26th at 9 a.m. That's 24 full hours of gaming. We're going to be raising money for the Children's Miracle Network over at Extra Life, and we're super excited to do it. We did it last year. There was food and drinking and hilarious games.
What was the best part? What do you think? Did it have to be Lauren Hetu playing?
Okay, the two best parts was Lauren McKella Hetu, as you people know. We played a game called Realistic Summer Sports Simulator, and she, for the entire night, talked about how good she was at the equestrian game.
Right.
And the entire night, like hours and hours of build-up, we played the equestrian game, and she was the worst.
Yeah, she literally hit every single thing that you could hit.
Yeah. You're supposed to jump over these gates. Her game was just charge through the gates and make it to the end. That was probably a highlight. The other highlight was just playing Avalon for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I think I left at that point because it was like 4 a.m. and I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta drive back to the city and not die.
We played Avalon from like 4 a.m. until like 7 a.m. and it was a blast. So it's gonna be right here on this live stream. So hit the follow button, obviously, for all of your live stream needs. And that's gonna be October 25th. You can join our team. You can raise money. There's donation kind of incentives. For $5, you get a player profile icon. For $10, you get the profile icon plus award skin. And if you are able to raise more than $10 by either live streaming or having your own event or what have you, as part of Extra Life, then you actually get Nisa and the Eidolon.
So you
Nisa
can raise
skin.
money for us? Is that how it works?
Yes, you can be a part of our team.
Nice.
You can represent us and help us reach our goal of $5,000.
And that's not just our sponsored streamers?
No,
that's
anyone.
Cool.
Anyone can join the team, and you don't have to be like a streamer. You can just do something local for yourself, for your friends, something like that. It's not just a live stream activity. It's whatever you want it to be.
How much do I have to donate to get a 6 Starbucks mug? This is limited edition.
Limited
I'm sorry,
edition.
you can't have this anymore.
There's only one in print, and this is
It's funny. The one that I commissioned, although it's like one that you can draw on, it's also a Starbucks. But it doesn't say Starbucks on it, so I get away with it.
I'm pretty sure Dibs is sponsored by Starbucks.
Right, I am.
That's what you are.
I
am. But anyway, yes, Extra Life. Check it out, guys. We're super excited to do it. It's going to be October 25th, 9 a.m. until October 26th at 9 a.m. It's going to be a long, long stream. Lots of games. Dawngate, probably some Rock Band, Avalon, more card games, Realistic Summer Sports Simulator. Surgeon Simulator was a blast last year. Nidhogg was a blast last year. So
that's when I learned that Andy's actually a really good singer. He is good. He is good.
We went to karaoke a few weeks ago, and he was a beast.
Yeah, he was starting up, and I was like, oh, God, what's this going to be like? But then it was really good.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But now for the meat of the stream, why you guys all are here,
right.
The brand new Shaper reveal, which is, you see Dibs on the stream, and he's either here to feed, or he's here to reveal a Shaper.
Play King of Mass and go 1-7. Really sell that skin.
Fantastic. Right. So let's talk about. This character has kind of been on the tips of everyone's tongues for a while because we did something amazing, or we feel is really we're proud of.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of Dawngate Chronicles tie-in.
Yeah. So this was actually, I think, one of the hardest things we've ever had to coordinate. It wasn't like we weren't struggling for it, but it was one of those things that we started this character a really long time ago, and we knew that we wanted to kind of incorporate them this way into the Dawngate Chronicles. But that is a lot of coordination to be like, okay, we're 9 or 12 weeks out. There's 3 Shapers in between this. We need to try to hit this very specific date to have this reveal and not have it too early or just afterwards. So really big effort from Chris Latois and Nick and John are the people who make the Dawn-Gate Chronicles, as well as Sam and Hunter, to just kind of get that to just nail right in there. So shout out to all those guys. They did super good, and I think it was really, really exciting. Like, that's one of those things that's like we've never done before. We've introduced characters that we want to have in the game eventually, but this was the first one that's like, boom, day and date.
I feel like the hype level is maximum.
Right. It's funny because we all knew, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
We've been waiting.
So last Monday or whatever, it was like the first panel with this setup, and we can see Ronan in the back, and we're all like,
yeah, it's coming.
And like one person is like,
is there a red mage in the background?
What's that red mage doing? That's a pretty cool Moya skin. We're just like waiting. So super, super cool from those guys. I thought it was a really cool thing that we did.
So obviously, talking about kind of some of the asks that were gone into this concept and into Ronan himself. You guys know his name. Obviously, it was said in the Chronicles. You were looking for something that looked different, right?
Yeah. So it was actually a long time ago, even before Kensu came out, when we were thinking about these characters, and we had a really big ranged carry deficit. And I think that the players are feeling that a lot. I think at that time we only had 4. It was like Michaela, Varian, Nisa, and Vex. And a lot of people, I thought it was a little stagnant. So we were making sure that we queued up a whole bunch of ranged carries. If you guys don't know, he's got 2 pistols. Come on, he's a ranged carry.
He's awesome.
He's a ranged carry. So we queued up a whole bunch of ranged carries. But the thing that we kind of got to when we were at the last one was that we were looking at the overall visual lineup of our ranged carries, and we were saying it's a little bit too consistent. We had a lot of humans, especially with Tess being added as the 6th ranged carry. And besides those, we had a Catman, who's cool, obviously, and a Spiky Dog, which is cool as well. And those were different, but we had a lot of humans. I think for our usual lineup, we had more than we normally would. So we wanted something that really broke that silhouette. So what we originally were calling this was the whimsical ranged carry.
That's the key word.
That's the key word. So we had all these humans that were kind of serious and were kind of not as whimsical as this one. And generally within lineups of characters, we have one whimsical character. Characters like Moya or Dibs. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're like. Dibs is whimsical both in the way that he looks as well as his character, and Moya is like the way that she looks, but she's also a very serious character with a lot of like problems. So whimsical is only really what we're thinking about when we think about how they look. So we wanted someone who would break up the overall look of the range carries, and we had a few different ideas going around, but the one that I had been kind of sitting on for a while was having another Otterkin character be a range carry. One of the concepts that I was really excited about was potentially having Otterkin share some gameplay across all their kits. So I was trying to think about a world where, and we didn't do this with Dibs and Flynn, but where we could have 2 different characters from the same race and have something that they shared between them. So that was the initial ask, and the Otterkin dual-wielding pistol Otterkin was what we gave to the conceptors and got returned fantastically.
Yes, we did. And I mean, with that being said, the concept was... the ask was to Tiffany Terrell, who's one of our newest concept artists of the team, who's responsible for Sakari. I know a lot of people love the look of Sakari and stuff like that. So you came to her, you said, we would like probably the greatest ask ever of a dual-wielding pistol otter.
Right. It's like she's and that waist on the 12 was like, oh, okay.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I got it. Right.
So I think with that being said, I think we can show Ronan the Peacemaker. Here he is, guys.
Let's do it.
5 of them down, 1 bullet left. Reckon I'll keep the change.
Super cool.
And there you go.
He's
He's Ronan,
cool guy.
the Peacemaker. I know you guys got a little bit of a morsel, a little bit of a tidbit on Friday when we released Justice, his bio. I know you guys were excited about that. So, Ronan, the Peacemaker. If that voice. Do you think people would recognize that voice?
See,
people have been debating about the bio.
That's one of those things. We were like, this is someone who's been in Dawn-Gate before, and people were like, oh, clearly it's got to be Coggin. It's got to be Adam Harrington.
It's Adam Harrington. No,
it's like not. Maybe it's Kensu. It's like no.
That's also Adam Harrington.
It's also Adam Harrington.
No, it is J.P. Carliak.
Yes, the voice of Zalgus and the King.
Yeah,
so
Zalgus and King.
So that guy's got tremendous range. I think Zalgus and King are kind of close to each other, but Ronan is now.
Yeah, Ronan is his own beast entirely. And if you have not heard that bio, go to our YouTube, youtube.com/WasteStoneGames. Listen to Justice. It is incredible. It sends chills down my spine. J.P. Carliak is fantastic. Obviously, the model, this is also kind of the Tiffany Terrell and Trevor Carr combo doing well again with Sakari and now with Ronan.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolutely beautiful model. And you'll see in game the animations
very cool.
by Jeep and the visual effects by Martin Leland Romero. So, shout outs to everyone on the art team that had a hand in Ronan. I think he looks fantastic. He sounds fantastic. I'm super excited. Obviously, you guys know he's range carry, and I kind of like range carries, so I'm excited to be able to do this this reveal. But
anytime that we have playtests where we're like, okay, Pluto's not allowed to play Ronan, you know that you were in a good spot because it's right up his alley.
I got banned from Ronan for a little while, so that's just how it is. But excuse me. The concept ask was something that it seemed to come a little quick. She kind of hit the nail on the head, I think, pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, so like I said, we had like a few different ideas, but one of them was the dual pistol wielding Otterkin, and the first concept group that we got back, because this was like one of the more wide explorations that we had TIFF do. The first concept group we had come back, we were just like, oh man. So let's go ahead and go to those.
Of course.
Go to those concepts.
Boop. Let me take off Ronan. There we go.
Okay, cool. So this was the very, very, very first thing we got back. So really, really initial early sketches. And immediately everyone was like, oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Like we didn't give her like a theme or anything like that. We were just like, let's do two pistols and an otter. So we had this immediate kind of like Western, almost like Desperado theme coming out, which originally led to his very first nickname, which was the Desperader. And a lot of people were latched onto it. This is the thing. I was talking to Trevor right before I started this stream, and I was saying, "Hey, Trevor, is there anything you want me to mention about the model or the the development in general?" And he said the strength of the concept was so high that everyone was kind of able to rally around it immediately. Like that's something that's really, really important. You need to look at a character and be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what this character is going to be like. He's going to be a badass. He's going to shoot people, and he's going to be like, I mean, in these two, particularly in the faces, he's not, he's morally dubious. I would say, and we were all just like, yeah, okay, cool. Like let's go with that. So I think that the strength of this concept was really, really huge. So this was the very first one, and then we said, okay, boom, let's do it. Dual wielding Desperado. And we went on to the next one. Yeah, so this was the next kind of concept iteration. We did a lot more exploration on style as well as weaponry. Something I found really interesting about this is that it felt, and I was playing WildStar at the time, but it had like a WildStar theme, like it almost went sci-fi. There was a lot of kind of cables and cords and stuff like that, and it was a little bit too far in the sci-fi direction, but a lot of the things that we were exploring here were super cool and kind of were fleshing out a little bit more of his overall character with capes and bandoliers and cool hats and stuff like that.
I love just conceptors notes of, I don't know, guns, lol, with a little like shruggy face. Thank you, Tiffany, for doing that.
Tiff has awesome notes all around her stuff.
But I really like, this is probably one of my favorite drawings, actually. I just like how he's naked. He's a naked otter, obviously. But, like, the pose is still intimidating and still scary.
He's on the hunt.
He's on the prowl, which is great.
Yeah.
And you see different ideas of guns and stuff. Like, this reminds me of the Nerf Maverick gun.
I know exactly. Yeah.
And then you have bigger guns here that look almost to be fueled by some kind of, like, a Vim pump.
Right. That one, it's, like, cool. Spacey and sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. And then that leads us to the Desperado.
So this is where we went a little bit further. Oh yeah, Desperado with a little happy face. I like that. We went a little bit further. We were actually kind of, it's interesting here. You can see two themes going on, which is almost a sheriff theme on the left and a little bit of an outlaw theme on the right, which is somewhere that we were kind of straddling for a while, and we weren't really sure which direction was going to be the way to go. And I think it actually ended up being that he's a little bit more, neutral in his morality, which is kind of like in between.
We have down here, and Zalgus mentioned in the chat, kind of lawful neutral.
It's lawful neutral for sure. He's not like crazy, but he's got his.
He will do the job.
He lives by his own rules, right?
Yeah.
So super cool. One of the things that TIFF kind of added to this concept that we weren't expecting and ended up being super, super awesome is that Ronan is blind. So if you listened to his lore when we released it and were listening carefully, you'll know that Ronan was scarred by some folks and is now blind. And we were originally like, whoa, that's super cool. Like, I mean, it makes it even cooler. He's already a cool guy, and then it's like, oh, he shoots people, but he's blind? Ah, that's so good.
Let's also hit the nail on the head and just say blind justice.
Right, blind justice.
I mean, come on.
It's too good. So we had these, so there was the concept in the bottom left with the bandages over his eyes, but there's also the concept in the top middle, which was more accurate to what his face looks like now, where he's got those huge crisscrossing scars. Super, super cool looking, and we were just like, oh, it's super exciting. There was also a few other things in this concept that eventually got fleshed out into the next one that you'll see. He's got a little bit of a canteen on his belt in the bottom left there, and a little something on his tail. We weren't really sure what those things were, and we wanted to kind of bring them to the next level, which is the final concept. So this is his final super concept. Really cool on the colors. Definitely has like that kind of sheriff motif to it, but a lot of cool skulls and stuff all over the place on his guns, on his back. So he's kind of a badass too. I think this is also the Vimlock pistols, or maybe the Vim flintlocks. Really, really neat gun design with the little hammers made out of crystal, and it's really, really cool. And we wanted to make sure that he had a lot of fun bits and bobs to play with. So he's got that flask on his belt, as well as those ampules on his tail, those little like syringes, little injectors. These were things that we had in the original concept, and we didn't even have a place for them in the gameplay yet. We were still developing the overall kit at this point. We had a few bits that we kind of knew we were going to have, and it's really fun to look at a concept like this and be like, oh yeah, he's got this flask full of Vim, obviously. Like, what is he going to do with that? Or these things on his tail, like, what are those going to be for? So that's always a really good place to kind of design kits from. What does the character have on them? Do they need something else? And what can those things do? So very, very fun concept to design a kit from. I think this is one of the strongest concepts we've ever had going into kit development.
So going back just kind of once, when you mentioned how Tiffany kind of brought the idea of him being blind, that's kind of an interesting suggestion for her to make, because it's like the art led the development in the story.
Totally.
Which with a detail like that, I feel like it's almost usually the opposite. You know, it's like Chris will write him as blind or something,
right?
And so the concept has to convey that.
It often goes both ways. A lot of times Chris will be writing the and I'm the exact same way with the kit too. Chris will be writing the lore or the lines for the character, and I'll be doing the kit, and we'll just have up on our right monitor just the concept blown up, just like super deep, and he's just kind of scanning for details to like think about all the things that this character is all about. And I'm doing the exact same thing for the kit. When we do kind of these wider explorations where we don't have something really strong that we're going for in the beginning, where we're like, we want the specific lore thing, we're just saying explore this concept. A lot of times it'll go from concept to us, both in kit design and prose lore.
And as far as now kind of transitioning into kit design from that, you mentioned earlier, and it's something that you can kind of flesh out more once we actually get into the game and stuff, but this kind of racially shared abilities. Right?
So I was wondering if it could be interesting if we had every Otterkin share an ability or part of an ability. I won't quite spoil what it is, but I was looking for range carry was one of the easiest ones for me to do that in, sharing abilities with Moya, and it's almost like a freebie. I'm wondering in the future if we can kind of keep it going. I think it'd be really cool if we could, but it becomes more difficult with a tank maybe or a support. But for right now, I think it's actually working out really cool. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but when we get into the game, you'll kind of see the shared parts of the kit between Moya and Ronan.
Yeah, and one of the things that you want to focus on with this particular AD carry is kind of a high APM or skill ratio, right?
Right. So what we already knew going in with this shared ability was that the character was going to be mechanically very difficult. So the kit is not complicated. However, it requires a lot of skill to execute because of the frequency you're using your abilities and the kind of the nature of them. So that was what we shared between Moya, and we also wanted to bring a few different high skill cap elements into it as well. So there's another ability that's pretty unique to Ronan that's extremely high skill cap. Like, it's the kind of thing that when it was first put in the game, people come up to me and they're like, I don't know about that ability, dude, because I can't use it. It's too hard. But because we were also testing a lot of spectate caster mode with this patch, we had a lot of people watching, and every time that someone could pull off this ability, they were like, damn, that was super cool. Pluto's what a god. So we ended up very quickly getting a really, really high skill cap character. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of balanced that with overall kit complication. So we had a few different iterations of the kit, particularly the ultimate, that were super duper complicated. Yeah. Like, there was some ones that people come after games, they're like, I never used it ever because I just couldn't. Yeah. And I'm like, oh god, that's never what you want to do. So although we have the high mechanical skill cap core kit, the ult almost layers just perfectly onto that, so that if you're doing what you should be doing, you're just doing it. Is just working. You're just doing it better.
Yeah.
So you guys will see how that works in games. But he's got a few different things that make him high skill cap in his core kit, and then an ult that layers right on top of it.
I think the best note that sums it up that I got from our meeting in my notebook here, it says, he got tricks.
He got tricks. Don't say that.
Yeah, I think you said that. I think you said he got tricks, which is very, very important to the Otterkin.
He does get tricks.
As you said, just before we go into the game, we're talking about high APM. We're talking about a high skill cap as well, with a focus on positioning, and then he's got tricks, which is the most important part.
He got tricks.
I love it. So I think we're ready to jump into the game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Assuming our good friends are ready. Looks like they are. They're in here. We got the punching bags in the game, which is very important. And we'll select Ronan here.
Gentle kid, you got till high sun to clear out of these woods.
Clear out of these woods.
Oh man, that voice. Do you have a specific loadout?
Yeah,
let's
do one that doesn't have any power.
Perfect.
Yeah, that one's kind of bad, but whatever.
But whatever.
Look at these terrible things. Yeah. Yep.
Why'd you ever make this loadout?
Because we don't get that infinite destiny, so I can't do it.
That's true. That's not even on internal environments.
Not even on internal.
I'm confused. So going into this, guys, this is going to be Ronan, the Peacemaker. We're talking about high APM. We're talking about high skill. We're talking about tricks. We're talking about those tricks.
Okay, cool.
Let's switch to the game cam.
Someone said it's a little too quiet, so if we can bump it up.
Is it too quiet? Yeah.
I always feel it's a little too quiet, but maybe that's just me. Yeah. Let's do max over here. We don't. Maybe not max.
Here.
Yeah. There we go.
We'll do like this, like this, like this. I'll see if you guys can hear it now, hopefully.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to scoot on over and drive just a little bit.
Of course.
So here is Ronan in his full model. I think it's super neat. He's a cool-looking guy. He's got that nice otter walk.
You can probably turn announcer down. Why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
There we go. We love you, curator, but it's time to show off Ronan right now.
Options, hype, new settings. Oh, they found out their secrets.
Hypes per minute is high.
Right. Okay, cool. So he looks super neat. I'm going to go ahead and level up maximum. I'm going to also get 100 power, as per usual.
You need 16,000 Vim to do so, of course.
Right, of course. Okay, so I'm going to go out and do a few emotes before I get onto his core kit. So, I'm going to do a flirt. Oh, get away from that core. It's making noise.
You're still typing.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Heading to the noise.
That's one of my favorite lines that I found him. It's like, when you click, he's like, heading to the noise. He can't see, guys. He's blind justice.
He can't see anything. All right.
You got a real nice voice. You know that?
Because he can hear you.
Blind jokes?
Just blind jokes.
You best nay disrespect me, pup.
Like his little
jokey fake things, finger guns.
Jokey finger guns. All right, joke.
Eat a good meal before a fight. Then they'll nay hear a gurgling.
And what do we do? A laugh? Dance. Oh, yeah, right.
Dance.
Oh, yeah, dance is cool.
Win a fight before the shooting starts.
Oh, man, those sounds are good, too.
Yeah.
Such gun spinning.
So, super cool. Super cool character. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through his kit. So Ronan is a pure shaper, so he uses no resource gases abilities, and he has a kind of unique passive. So Ronan's wards are augmented by his sense of hearing. He can... His wards will penetrate bushes, terrain, and walls 100%. So he has... His wards essentially have pure vision in a 29 or about 800 radius around him. The normal ward size, he can see in all directions. So this is a super duper powerful passive and has a lot of use cases. Just warding right here will give me vision into the parasite pit, allow me to see if people are doing it. There's a lot of different wards, kind of early game and late game. I can do this one right here.
I love that ward spot.
Both these bushes. Are you kidding me right now? Super good. There's a lot of different ways that this ward can be used, both early game, mid game, late game, all over the place. So always consider where you're going to place your ward when you're playing as Ronan or playing with Ronan.
Because it is effectively a different methodology.
It's a different methodology. Of course, it's got the effect so that you know when it originally expands out, you know exactly how far he's going. It also has this effect, so you know which ones are Ronan's wards versus other people's wards. But just keep in mind, it's very different. He can place in a lot of different places. Ronan, for a long time, he's always kind of had vision as his passive, so we tried a few different things with vision as his passive. The thing we did not want to do is give Ronan any additional damage because he didn't need it. So we were just looking for interesting vision-based gameplay, and this is what we ended up on. And I actually really, really like this passive a lot. I think it's really, really neat. Okay, I think my friends can come join me down in the parasite pit now, if they'll... Yeah, there they go.
There we go. Perfect.
Oops. Okay, so Ronan is a ranged shaper, of course. Ooh, let me turn off camera mode.
That's his base attack speed, guys.
So he has a normal basic attack.
I love the gun spins he does after every shot.
Yeah,
I think that's
super cool. I think Jeep did a really fantastic job in the animations on this guy, so shout outs to him. So, Ronan's Q ability, just like Moya, is also Bolt. Ronan dashes in target direction, resetting his basic attack and causing it to deal bonus damage. The cooldown for Bolt will only start when he lands that empowered basic attack, or after 5 seconds when the buff runs out. So this is a really, really powerful ability. You can see that with no haste whatsoever, a little bit of cooldown reduction. It has about a 3-second cooldown at max rank, allowing him to position both aggressively and defensively in lane really, really strongly and throughout the entire game. So this is the kind of thing that gives Ronan a lot of high mechanical skill. Being able to dash kind of precisely to avoid or avoid incoming damage, or kind of to eke out that extra damage. If you like see someone getting away and they're about to be really they're within execute range, you go and shoot them. It deals percentage bonus damage based on your basic attack. So at max rank, it deals 40% of your basic attack's damage as bonus. So right now, it's an additional 80 damage, which is really, really nice considering that it's also a basic attack reset. So I can be shooting, dash, and immediately get another shot with bonus damage.
I love it.
So really, really, really powerful ability. A lot of different use cases. This is kind of the ability that's really easy to use, but really, really difficult to master. Being able to use this in late game during a tactic team fight is tricky, but super, super powerful. So let's go to his W, which is currently is called Injection. So Injection. Okay, I need Renzo. Okay, so I'm going to use Injection, and Renzo's going to stun me. If he's got the timing is going to be right. All right, go ahead and do it, Renzo. Okay, so close. No. Oh, it's too close. All right, use your E ability. Come on. So, the way that Injection works is that Ronan will throw up his Vim ampules from his tail into the air. 0.75 seconds later, they will inject into him and cleanse him of all crowd control. So this is a very, very tricky ability to use. It must be used pre-CC, but it will cleanse Ronan of all CC, and if he cleanses any CC, allow him to move faster as well. So if I can get Amaranth to bubble me, you see that as soon as they inject into me, I can move faster. Amaranth's bubble has two components, the slow and the bubble itself. It will only cleanse the slow portion of the bubble. So this is essentially a kind of less strong dispel.
Yeah, and that's an important differentiation that we want to make clear is you do not get rid of Drain, you do not get rid of Amaranth's bubble. It is only the CC component of it.
Right? Correct. So this is a really difficult ability to use, but it's also one of the most powerful abilities, I would say, in the game. If you're able to block, there's endless things that you can block. CC gate is pretty real. You can block tanks. You can get Coggan's Hook if you get it correctly. It is very tricky to use because of the timing mechanic of it. If you're stunned, you cannot use the ability, so it will not get you out of it. But if you're, say, rooted, or if you're in a slow zone like Coggan's Quicksand, it will get you out of those scenarios. So very difficult to use, very timing based, but very, very, very strong in the right scenarios.
You have to use it proactively, right? You can't. Well, you can do it reactively, like the travel time on Renzo's stun, for example.
Right.
You can do it as it's traveling towards you, and as soon as it hits, if you cleanse, that's like the perfect kind of use of it. I had a lot of fun playing Ronan whenever we were still kind of testing Who Tank and stuff internally, because he throws Flynn, and as I see Flynn coming, if I know I'm not able to dodge, I can press my W, and as soon as the stun hits, I've already cleansed it and I'm gone. That was always probably the most fun use case for me.
Yeah. So really, really good against predictable CCs. Things like Zeri's Silence, it will cleanse. However, it is more difficult to do so because it's nearly instant speed with no tell. So if I can get it beforehand and she happens to silence me, like I do this,
there you go.
then I got it.
Not silenced.
Not silenced. So that is Injection. Ronan's E ability is called On the House. Let me get a ward down over here so I can see my friends. Ronan, I keep saying Renzo because I keep seeing him. Ronan kicks his Vim Flask in target direction, causing it to explode in a cone either when it hits a target or at maximum range. It deals physical damage to all enemies in that cone and also reveals them for a few seconds. The total range is 800 plus about another 400, so the total range is about 1200. Very, very long range ability. However, the damage falls off within distance of the cone. So if I hit someone with the flask, it does maximum damage. Everyone else in that cone will take less the further they are away from the point of impact. So right here, 160 for Zeri. However, I'm only doing 94 on Amaranth. This is about the max distance of the cone that it will hit. So hitting targets right in their face or very close to the point of impact does a lot of damage. Characters further away will take less damage.
I also love the fact that it is decent wave clear. It's not huge by any means, but it is also incredible for checking brushes. You don't have to face check brushes anymore, guys.
Right. So this is, as far as like his overall DPS is concerned, it's not really a good ability to use as in your core rotation. Because he can be doing so much more with his basic attacks, but it has significantly greater range than his basic attack, so using that to check bushes, or if someone's running away, or if they're engaging on the team fight, just for a little extra damage. Very, very strong. Additionally, same thing applies for just, any time that you can, get a vision for your team is generally good, right?
Yeah.
If Michaela's looking to ult, and then you get with the E, and they can see him, and then the ult goes off, it's really, really strong. So, strong ability, great for wave clear, good for doing long range damage.
And that brings us to the ultimate.
So that is the ultimate. So Ronan's ultimate is called Reckoning. Let's see if I can get my friends a little closer together. Yeah. So Ronan activates Reckoning, causing all his basic attacks to ricochet between shapers for 6 seconds. It causes his primary basic attack to deal more damage and have better scaling, and ricochet to one shaper. It will always prioritize the lowest % health shaper within the area. So this is a really, really strong AoE and execute ability. You can see that as soon as I hit Amaranth, it'll always hit Amaranth instead of Renzo. If I use a basic attack that is enhanced by the Bolt ability, it will bounce twice, hitting both of these targets. So I use Bolt, my basic attack, and it bounces to both. As I continue to just normal basic attack, it'll just bounce to the lowest % health target.
Really, really strong ultimate. Like, when you get potentially this plus Fate or Resonance as well, oh my god, team fights just go your way.
It's kind of like a super version of Resonance. And the best thing about it is that it always seeks out low health targets. So sometimes Resonance will go, I think Resonance goes to the closest target, which is not always who you want to deal damage to. But if you're in a team fight and you're out of range of a really low health escaping target, or anyone with low health in general, using this ability on top of your basic, what you're generally doing in team fights, which is dodging damage and keeping DPS uptime, really, really strong for finishing and cleaning up fights particularly. It adds a flat amount of damage to both his basic attack, as well as it has flat damage on the person that it bounces to. It has a small scaling ratio on your basic attack and a larger one on the other targets. So Ronan will end up doing a ton of damage with his basic attack. It gives him about a 1.2 ratio total and a 0.6 on the damage unit attack, which is really, really significant amounts of damage. As he gets more attack speed and more power, which I don't have any attack speed right now, it becomes even stronger.
Yeah, I absolutely love just his kit as a whole is so fun to play. I really, really enjoyed it. I've been playing it for a few months now, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it as well. Yep. I know a lot of people are going to be asking about the his ratios. What are they kind of like? Does he have anything that's absurd? Like his E, people are going to think about, is it damaging?
So
or is it not really?
His E has a 0.6 ratio if you hit it directly into their face, and a 0.3 as it falls off. So not particularly high there. His Q has it adds essentially a 0.4 to his basics. That's really strong for really, really heavy damage builds, particularly things that have things like dominance, because it will scale with that. His ultimate adds about a 0.2 onto his basic, like I said, and it has a 0.6 on the targets that it hits. So in general, if he has his Q and his R up, or if he's using his Q with his R, there's a lot of ratio damage getting kind of poured out there. But no particular nukes. It's all about that basic attack cadence, keeping up DPS uptime, dodging abilities, or engaging with your Q.
Of course. And now, as far as builds are concerned, what do you usually see being built onto Ronin? I mean, obviously, I know some of those answers, but
right
as the lead shaper designer.
So we're really like. I really like Ambition on range carries right now. It's just really, really strong for trading. Gives you all that extra haste as you get lower in life drain, so it can kind of keep you as a surprise character, surprise low health threat, right? I think Ambition is just strong overall. So Conquest is great. Like if you know how Conquest works, which is after you use an ability, it empowers your next basic attack. It's super fantastic.
Q procs it.
Yeah, right. It has the exact same cooldown as your Q when it's at max rank. So using that is just killer. Like you'll just sneak out, and if you're doing well, you'll sneak out and just decimate people. Dominance is really great for the reason I stated. It gives you a lot of extra power, and it also gives you that percentage bonus on your crits. So if you do a Q enhanced crit, you're gonna
melt.
You're gonna completely melt them. So Judgment and Pain are pretty good for his. The amount of times that he's basically attacking Judgment's really good. Same thing for Pain. He has the ability to spread Pain quite a bit because of his E ability. He's got a pretty large AoE, and his R ability will be jumping to the targets that you're going to want to be jumping to. So if there's a low health target getting away, and all the supports on the team are like shield him or heal him, it'll be really nice when they can't do that as well. Betrayal is a great
overall magic
resist item for all range carries, right? It adds that it doesn't cripple your damage too much, and it gives you all that resistance to magic damage. Vengeance, same thing. Anyone that can proc a lot of basic attacks against a target will like Vengeance.
Now, loadout. I mean, a lot of people just do Ravager Duelist for their 80 carries, or that's what I personally run. Do you have any other suggestions, potentially?
So I like Duelist on him for the reason of going like that, right? Yeah. You keep procking that double Duelist. That's normally what I would have in this case, but I specifically didn't choose that loadout. Ravager Duelist, those are great choices for him. Anyone that can stay sustained and fight Ravager is fantastic for. His ultimate, the bouncing shot, is not considered a basic attack. So Duelist it would be stronger if it was like that, but it's not. So I would still probably take Duelist, but it doesn't quite have like super synergy.
Okay. So give us, so some people are just tuning in, some people are confused, what have you. Give us the quick TLDR rundown of his kit one more time.
Okay.
Just so everyone can catch up, and then we can go into kind of Q&A session.
So Ronin's wards are special. They can see over walls, into bushes, and over terrain, so he gets pure vision of this entire area. Everything is seen by Ronin's wards. His Q ability is a short-range dash plus basic attack reset and causes his basic attacks to do more damage. His W ability is a little bit hard to show here. Amaranth, can you bubble me?
Let's go.
It is a delayed cleanse, so he uses an ability. He uses his ability 0.75 seconds later. It will dispel all CC that's on him, so any movement and parry effects except suppressions. And he will gain a move speed bonus if he correctly disabled any effects. His E ability kicks a flask in target direction, causing it to explode in a cone either on the first target it hits or at max distance. It deals less damage the further characters are away from the impact of the flask. So this character is going to take 163. Renzo only takes 104, so less damage the further away from the cone. His R ability causes his basic attacks to bounce to nearby low health targets. If he uses a Q enhanced basic attack, it bounces to 2 low health targets.
Well, there you go. Really strong 80 carry. I love playing him. As Dib said in the beginning, I get banned sometimes from playing him in playtest because he's so fun. He's slippery as all get out. That Q allows him to be super slippery, combined with the W, if you're able to use it effectively. I see some people talking in chat like, oh, W seems ridiculously OP, but it's really high skill cap.
Right.
If you don't predict it, it is a useless skill. Like if you don't use it, as Flynn is using thrilling heroics and tossing as Sergeant Buttersworth is tossing Flynn through the air.
Right.
If you don't use it at that point, then you're gonna get stunned and it's gonna be a useless ability.
Yeah.
Renzo stun, Amaranth bubble, all that kind of stuff.
You get a lot of practice using it in lane, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I've got this. And then you get into a 5v5 team fight.
What's happening?
Oh god, no! Like it's really hard. But when the first person that successfully injects away a Kagen Hook is the dream, and I want that VOD immediately on the Reddit.
Yeah. Send it to us, please. There's also the fact that like it is a great skill. It's got a lot of great uses, but playing against people that know about it, they hold on to their CC, or they burn like a lesser CC
right,
for you to cleanse, and then they hit you with Salus will come in, for example, and like if you decide to cleanse the Amaranth Bubble, if you tried to W the Amaranth Bubble, he's going to E you and he's going to ult you.
Right.
You have to choose which CC, because most good teams aren't going to stack all their CC on top of you at once.
Right.
Especially against an Otter, they're going to be like, okay, we'll wait, we'll blow one, see if you use it. If you don't, we'll blow another one, see if you use it. We'll blow another one. Like good team comps and good players are going to do that 100% of the time.
Yeah, same thing, like getting things like a Duress or Inevitability gets a low cooldown CC in your team that he's going to want to potentially inject away, but once he does it, then you give him the hard CC.
And I've had a few of the sad scenarios where like I see a Salus coming in to gank or something, he hits me with his Q, and as he's flying in, I pop my W thinking, oh, he's going to immediately E and R,
right,
and my W injects into me, cleansing nothing, and then I get murdered. And then I get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. Yeah. I have to see which Salus is coming at me, and if I know he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
When we do internal playtests, I'm like, that's a good Salus.
That's a good Salus.
I need to wait.
Oh, that's a bad Salus. That's Dibs playing Salus. We'll be okay. No. But yeah, he's an exceptionally strong AD carry. I absolutely love playing him. His play style is fun. It's active. He's slippery. He's crazy fun. And in team fights, his ultimate, he can wreck things, and it's super fun. So we always use the last few minutes of these Shaper reveals, of course, to do Q&A with you guys. So if you guys have a question, put a Q with a colon in the chat, followed by the question, and we'll answer it to the best of our abilities. I know there have been a few already, but it looks like they all kind of got pushed to the top, so I can't see them. So again, ask any questions you have in chat. We'll try to answer them about Ronin, about anything really. We got you're not Gasty, Dibs here.
Oh.
He's very important to me.
Wow.
Gasty not so important. I defer to Gasty for that question. How many Qs Skillbug asks, how many Qs are able to get off during the duration of his ultimate?
So it depends on your haste entirely. His ult has a 6-second duration, so with no haste you can always get off 2. Potentially 3 if you were like godlike timing, but probably not. But having a little bit of haste on that, a little bit of basic attack, or if you had something like probably, I was taking this a little bit in the beginning, Zeal would definitely get you more, but don't take that. That's for bad. That's for bads like me.
I would if you prime the Q and then activate your R, is it a double so you can get 3?
Oh well, it would have been, but Renzo's out. He was out of range, so you could. But the problem is that last cooldown would be coming up, and you still have to dash.
That's true.
And you have to get the reset. So with a little bit of haste, yes, but it would be tricky.
Let's see. What are his cooldowns? We actually, since you're in God mode, Corsair is asking what are his cooldowns.
Yeah. So I've got a little bit of haste. I've got 7% cooldown reduction. So do a little bit of math. So his bolt is a 3-second cooldown. It does come down with rank, so 3-second at max strength. Injection is about a 15-second cooldown. Also comes down at max rank. Has a very, very long cooldown in the early game, but taking 1 rank is pretty effective, especially in early skirmishes. His on the house is about a 10-second, maybe it's a 9.5-second cooldown. It does come down with rank. And his ultimate is about a 90-second cooldown, so pretty low, does come down with rank.
Let's see. What is the range of the extra damage from his ultimate, says the Titan 84?
So it's pretty far. If I can get Amaranth and Renzo to... Let me drop another ward so I can see. So this will definitely hit both. If I can get Amaranth to get a little further away, let's try another Q enhance. So that will not hit. So it's a pretty big circle around the character. Let me try one more time with the new range. Yeah, so this is probably about max range. Yeah. So that's about max range. Really, really generous bounce range. It'll go obviously in all directions. It's not conal or anything like that. So as long as you're hitting the target, a lot of times it's really nice to, someone got caught out but they didn't get killed. You can now just start shooting the tank, and you know that your shots are going to hit them because they have low HP.
Bionic Ryan is asking a LOL's question, like a LOL. Does his bouncing shot proc potency?
No, it doesn't. Potency.
It shouldn't.
No, it's not, because it's AoE style damage, so it will not. It's not single target.
There you go. Let's see.
It does not work with Fate. So this is a primary target only style ability. So Fate will not proc several additional
oh my god,
bounces of a shot.
That would be absolutely ridiculous.
Fate's still a great item on him because the damage from his... Remember that Fate does a percentage of your primary target's damage, and that does get enhanced by Q. So Fate is just a little bit better on him than it is on other range carries, except for, say, Michaela, who has an even stronger steroid on her W.
Insidious Tone says, what if multiple stuns/silences are being thrown, like Flynn and Rinzo? Would it cleanse both?
It cleanses every single crowd control that's on you at any given time.
Yeah.
So it essentially says, what do you have on them? Remove all of them. If one gets applied a frame later after you've already done...
I think they want to try. That looks like a try.
So I'm gonna use it, and all you guys use your CCs on me at once. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, Renzo is...
Renzo not even listening.
He was sleeping,
Yeah.
but I did...
Let's try it one more time. I think he's ready. I think he's ready.
Okay.
Let's get all the CC.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Oh, you missed it by a
No,
fraction.
the Zeri Q hit me late.
Oh, no.
Alright,
You guys are bad.
we are. So, yes, it would totally will remove every single CC that's on you
At the time
at the time that
it cleanses.
That it cleanses, yeah.
So if you do it too early, that's another thing. If you do it too early, you will cleanse nothing.
Right.
So if you do it in for some reason it takes longer than 0.75 seconds for Renzo's rock to travel and hit you, or if you do it too early, like preemptively, and he hasn't thrown the rock yet, you're going to be a sad otter for 15 seconds because you don't have W back up for a while.
Yes.
Can he dash through Sakari walls?
He cannot dash through any walls. So similar to Moya,
He will slide.
post-nerf Moya, he will not dash through his walls. He does have the kind of sliding that Michaela players and Moya players are used to, where he will not always faceplant into walls. If the angle's right, he'll actually just kind of slide around it, so he doesn't faceplant.
Dizzy Desu also asking a question about his W. Can it cleanse silences? Can it be cast while silent? So it cannot be cast while silent.
Correct.
But it can cleanse if you properly time it. Zeri looking like she wants to throw it on you. Are you ready, Corey?
Oh, so
too
he
late.
silenced me just after it went off, so I did not get the silence off.
Wake up.
There we go.
No silence. No silence.
And I get the move speed off because I correctly silenced, or
Of-
correctly cleansed something.
Of course, people want to see his death animation as
Okay,
well.
his death animation is extremely delightful. Let me kill Parasite first.
He's evolving.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and give me the old...
Give him the old murder town.
Come back soon.
I love the hat. The hat falls on his tail. I love it.
It's the best. I'm going to just kill myself so that you guys can see that with no effects.
It's like he looks like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Like his legs are taking out from under, and he's like, "Whoa!"
He's got an incredible wiggle.
I'm up.
Do it one more time.
All right.
I love his waving arms. Everyone pay attention to his wavy arms. You know, I don't think I've ever seen his death animation because I never died. No, I'm just kidding. That's a great animation. I love
Yeah,
it.
Chief did a really good job on the details of this guy and kind of nailing the character. So really, really awesome.
Let's see. If you just woke up, missed the entire stream, the VOD will be available on YouTube probably about an hour or so after we end the stream, which is in about 10 minutes. So, 2 Otterkin, 2 Hutan Shapers. Will there be a Shaper more related to Viana and Terrace? So it's kind of a general question, but Jimmy Chan, a question nonetheless.
Yeah. So we definitely we don't really like the idea of one-offs, so we have some totally right. There's not going to be another Desecrator. Probably.
He's a little special.
You know, he's like a really unique scenario, but he was just a human, and now he's like this thing. When we do kind of like characters from different races or species, I'm not really sure what the right term is there.
I guess races, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Someone help me out.
Crystal Top, please.
Yeah. We'd never like it to be like, this is the one Kensu forever. We'll eventually should have another guy from there so we can continue to kind of explore that race and character and kind of culture. So definitely expect more characters from the different places. Not necessarily coming up soon, but always something we would love to do.
Xylo Navi, I'm going to kind of generalize your question and just say, who are his interactions with? Or are there some you don't want to mention yet?
Yes.
Of course.
Accurate statement.
Noise.
But does he have Moya interactions? I mean, being both Otterkins, I'm sure they've got to,
He
right?
will once we get Moya's voice actor, Nikki Rapp back into the studio.
That's kind of one of the and just to kind of shed light on that whole dev process, I suppose, is like if we would love to have
Heading out.
Moya and Ronan interact with each other, right? But you have to wait till like Nikki comes and voices another character, or comes in just for some pickup lines on Moya and stuff like that. There's a lot of work that goes into kind of fleshing
Right.
out the banter system that
It's really tricky.
just takes time.
It's really tricky to like have a voice actor or actress come back in for 6 lines with a character.
Yeah.
And it's just like
But-
it's not really feasible.
But we definitely want to do it. You know, stuff like that. We always want to be fleshing out the banter system
Right.
and always have these interactions pop up.
So
and
it's
have
one of
to be
those
new.
things that when we get someone like JP Karliak back in for Ronin, we can then go back to Zalgus and King and get new lines, which will be in the game soon.
Yeah, which Dibs told me before we started the stream, and I am super excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
Very cool.
Win a
We'll keep
fight
dancing.
before the
So any other
superstar.
questions, guys? Q with a colon in the chat, and we'll answer it to the best of our abilities. Any cool special interactions? We already asked that kind of. Sex Panther. Fantastic. Will there ever be a Stealth Shaper, or is that too spooky for Waystone?
We got something in the works. T-zoned.
This is just Dibs laying down the law. Show us a golden Ronin. I think that would be
Okay,
interesting
yeah,
skin.
let's do it. Oh,
Unless you mean something special.
I
But
thought
here's
it-
Stasis.
golden. Done.
Super golden. Was Dibs named after you, Dibs? Yes.
Dibs was named after
Yes,
me.
it
It's
was.
true.
Set into the
Everyone's asking about skins.
Okay, can't do it.
In the future.
Can't
do it.
Got something special.
Something special for you guys. Ooh. Special skins and stealth teases.
And
Oh,
now.
Dibs, what are you doing?
I know.
Are you gassy?
I'm
Is this the money picks? I think that's what this is. And his vitality, I know some people were asking, is justice. His vitality of justice, which
Yep.
is a fantastic item on him. I will remind you. I love
How
justice.
long does the vision last? Lasts for 3 seconds. Does the E go over walls? It absolutely does. Wow.
right.
And this is a question I had kind of during development, but Ronin's wards do appear, like, for the first few seconds when you see wards, they appear visually different. People see that kind of sonar thing,
They will see
so
it.
they know it's Ronin's ward.
Right.
So they know it has that true vision.
Yep.
So it's very important to kind of pay attention because Ronin's ward is obviously different from other wards because it has that true vision. It sees over walls, in bushes, through terrain, stuff like that.
Moving on.
What happened to that green goo girl that Reyna found?
Oh,
Oh,
she's coming. Don't worry about it.
things
Don't
that
worry.
happen.
Things that happen.
Rude version of Variance E, Corlin17 wants to ask.
It's kind of a different ability. Varian's E, a lot of the strength actually comes from the passive portion of it. It's kind of difficult to compare like direct abilities across characters. That's one of the things that's almost the hardest perception gap to get over. People will compare like one ability to another ability across different characters and not take into account like kind of the entire kit, like the frequency that Variant can keep his steroid, both haste and damage up, or attack speed and damage. It might be haste and damage compared to Ronin's, which is only a one-time thing. So it depends on how much total damage you want to have in the character, if they need any utility abilities. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, but just keep in mind, I think for the future, direct ability comparisons, like saying, but this guy's Q and this guy's Q, they're not equivalent, is often a kind of poor thing to do. You have to kind of keep the entire kit in mind.
Ali Card says, does he have things on multi-kills like Nisa does her battle cry? I am pretty sure every shaper in the game has different multi-kill
Of course.
lines and stuff.
Yeah,
they have very special, unique
I'll
ones.
let you guys got to find those.
Yeah, you guys got to figure out. Who's going to be the first Omni kill on Ronin?
Right.
Because I think I've only gotten a Tetra kill. I don't think I've ever gotten an Omni
get
kill
good.
as Ronin. I know, I'm really bad. The TLDR of Mianhe spamming his question is there any more plans to add more depth to the Vision gameplay?
I think that there are. It's definitely a question for Gasty.
Gasty. We both defer to Gasty.
Right.
But he did specifically ask about anything with like support Shapers passive so that they can somehow alter vision or see vision. Because you've already kind of implemented it in a way with Ronin.
We've considered a few things. So long time. I don't really want to tease too much, but there's definitely some vision gameplay that I've created personally that I'm not happy with, and I think a lot of people aren't happy with, that will hopefully be resolved in the future. As for like larger plans, we were considering giving some of our supports vision-based gameplay, but it often doesn't feel very good if a character has vision-based gameplay or a passive or something that allows them to see enemies, and they don't specifically have a way to follow up on it, even if it's a support style and their team does. Because you'll be in a situation where it's like, I revealed him because I did so-and-so. So, for instance, way back in the day, Dibs' old passive, years ago now, was all his basic attacks just reveal people. They just reveal them for 2 seconds. So, really, really strong passive, really good, bad on Dibs. Like, good for his friends, but it was kind of a strange synergy. We've been testing some other things with Vision soon, but yeah, it's all kind of in flight.
A good question from Shadow Ocelot. He has Bolt. Does the dash itself do damage or just the basic attack?
It does not. So the only thing that's identical is the distance of the dash, almost the cooldown of the dash, and also the fact that it doesn't go through walls and slides around. But I think if we want to have all Otterkin in the future have Bolt, which is kind of what I would love to do, they're all going to need to do different things because he's a range carry, Moy is a bruiser. Like the things have got to be different.
Someone's asking kind of, can he see using his spirit? How does he effectively, is he like a daredevil kind of thing where like he just has other senses honed so well?
Yeah, so he's got keen senses. I think he hears people.
It's actually the name of his passive, right?
Yeah, it is the name of his passive. He hears people, smells them, right? He has a lot of lines about like tummy gurgling.
I can hear your tummy gurgle.
I can hear your tummy gurgle. That's his Omni-Kill line. No more gurgling.
No more gurgles. The gurgles have stopped. Vintage Calvert, who do I thank? Someone deserves my love. For what? For the entire kind of shaper. You have Dibs as the designer of the shaper. You have Tiffany Terrell, the concept artist. You have Trevor Carr, the modeler. You have JP Carliak, the voice actor. You have Jeep Narcombe for animations. You have Martin Lelaine Romero for VFX. Like, you can't thank one person for any particular shaper or any part of the game. So much work goes into it from so many different disciplines and facets that you have to thank just Waystone. Thank you, Waystone.
Just Waystone.
We appreciate it, Waystone. Will the shaper be available today for play? If not, when? He'll be in the next patch, Insidious Tone.
Yeah, watch out for those patch notes.
Indeed. Can you guys do special login musics or something like that for the shapers? Marabuto, that would be like a dream. That would be awesome. And I'm sure if Necobus was here, which I don't know if he's in chat or not, would be like, yes, absolutely, we want to do that. It's just a matter of resources and time and stuff like that. Let's see, a few more questions, and we will be done for the day for this fantastic Ronan reveal. I still love his dance, and I love everything about him. Ronan's dope. Ronan's super cool.
He's super dope.
Can you please show me his ulti? I must have missed it. We'll do his ulti one more time.
Yeah.
Let's just do his ulti.
Are my friends around? Yeah, they are.
So good.
So good. So bouncy shots. Seek out those low health shapers. Execute the team.
I don't know what we can or would want to talk about, but I mean, Passive Palooza's next patch.
So we had a little bit of a organization change for Passive Palooza. What that equates to for you guys is that no new passives this patch. However, new passives coming soon.
Definitely in the works.
Yeah. So we've got a few that we're kind of already happy with. This particular patch had a ton of moving parts, which you guys, a ton of moving parts. So no passives this time. Coming soon.
There you go. Does the empowered auto after Q apply 2 auto hit effects since he attacks with both pistols?
It does not. That would be too strong.
That would be really strong.
You get Conquest and Double Ruin, you get wrecked.
Yeah, it would not be good. Let's see.
Into the noise.
Let's answer like 1 or 2 more questions. How does the R work when both Fate and Vengeance built? Do you only need to land 2 auto attacks to blow up the secondary target?
No, because the ricocheting shots do not apply on hit effects.
Yep. Does he have a skin? He does.
He does.
And like we said, you guys will see it soon.
Yeah.
Can you show us him with 6 Justices built just for the lull? Let's go buy 6 Justice.
6?
Let's go buy all of the Justice. I mean, he is Justice. Let's be real. He is the law. He's pretty much like Judge Dredd.
Okay.
Command Justice.
Yeah.
This is the true Ronin build.
This is. Do not try this at home.
This is how you should play Ronin right here. Oh my god. Good old Justice Ronin. He is the greatest. You better catch that guy. You've got 6 Justices. You gotta catch him.
Reckon to sneak up on the blind man?
You can't escape. You can't escape the Justice.
Set into the road. I always been lucky when it comes to killing.
There you go. One last dance, and that's pretty much it. It is noon. It's noon 01. It's 12:01. So we're actually gonna end the stream for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys will be able to play Ronin in the next patch. Keep an eye out for the patch notes. Pay attention to our Twitter, twitter.com/thedawngate, and facebook.com/thedawngate as well. Follow the stream down below. You get notifications every time we go live. Boop boop. And yeah, I'm super happy to have had Dibs on, Dan Dibs Gibson,
Thanks
our lead shaper designer, to come talk about Ronin, which is actually your own shaper. You're not here in lieu of Gasty, which is good.
I know, it's true. I always have to.
Damn it, Gasty. But thank you guys so much for watching. There's plenty of people streaming the Dawn Gate right now. I'm pretty sure Distracted Elf is going back live, so go check her out on her channel. And until next time, guys, which will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. PDT for a nice developer live stream with our very own Ian Pigo Migo Hetu, who's going to be playing some Chaos Kel is what he wants to play. I'm calling him out. I've said it on stream. Ian, if you don't show up and play Chaos Kel tomorrow, we're going to have a problem. So until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Go check out Facebook.com/ShadonGate and Twitter.com/ShadonGate, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later, guys.
Bye.
If we're going to do MOBA, we don't just want to clone.
We knew we were coming out of nowhere, and we knew that the people who liked MOBAs were super diehard. We put it in the players' hands at a very early stage, and we were just kind of like, we're going to build this in front of you guys, and whatever you tell us about this, we are going to hear it whether we like it or not.
It's just a constant dialogue with our players, and Dawngate is constantly getting better for it.
MOBA stands for Multi-User Online Battle Arena. For Dawngate, what we've done is broken down the genre to its component parts and built a new game that doesn't just clone the classic MOBA, but builds on it by focusing on a flexible metagame. But the metagame in Dawngate is based around your particular team composition, the roles your team is choosing. So the game is going to play different every single time, allowing you and your team to genuinely try new strategies.
It allows them to basically play any of these characters that they really identify with in any position in the game.
When we set out to make Dawngate, really what we wanted was characters who were fighting for a purpose.
All of the characters that you play, the map that you're playing on has been conceived of in a massive epic story arc that's really just kicking off with the players.
Salus, he's a character who I love to play. He's sort of a lizard monk, very zen.
There is a little spirit wisp dude. I love the design of that guy.
Big guys with axes and armor and skulls. I like that a lot.
So I like supports, 100% the best. I like making supports and playing supports the best.
I really like that we have a whole section of the world that's devoted to badass, bookish nerds. And I like books.
Dude, if you can't geek out about something, we're probably not gonna have a good time hanging out.
We built this team specifically to make this game, to make Dawngate. We're a group of hardcore MOBA players, so we knew if we were going to make something awesome for our players, it had to be awesome for us.